Hello everyone. I thought we'd get back onto our story of the enormous crocodile. Just have a little bit of a recap. So first of all, at the beginning of the story, we met the enormous crocodile and the not so big one, and they were having a chat in the river. The enormous crocodile said that he was going to go and eat some children. Really nice there. Nice thing for him to do. And then the not so big one said that the enormous crocodile was the stupidest crocodile he'd ever seen, or words like that. Then the enormous crocodile crawled out of the water. He went walking through the jungle on his way to the village, and he met Humpy Rumpy. He met Chunky the elephant. He met Mugglewump the monkey, and he also met the roly-poly bird. And we left it where the enormous crocodile was he'd come to the edge of the jungle and he was about to go towards the town. So let's see what happens next. Okay. The enormous crocodile crept over to a place where there were a lot of coconut trees. He knew that the children from the town often came here looking for coconuts. The trees were too tall for them to climb, but there were always some coconuts on the ground that had fallen down. The enormous crocodile quickly collected all the coconuts that were lying on the ground. He also gathered together some fallen branches.
"Now for clever trick number 1, he whispered to himself. "It won't be long before I'm eating the first part of my lunch."
He took all the coconut branches and held them between his teeth. He grasped the coconuts in his front paws. Then he stood straight up in the air, balancing himself on his tail. He arranged the branches and the coconuts so cleverly that he now looked exactly like a small coconut tree, standing among the big coconut trees. Have you seen that? To be fair to him, that is a pretty clever trick. He wasn't lying when he said he had clever tricks up his sleeve. Oh no, have you seen this? So there's the coconut trees. Look, the enormous crocodile's pretending to be a coconut tree. But look, oh no, there's 2 children. Do you think they're going to get eaten? I hope not. Soon 2 children came along. They were brother and sister. The boy was called Toto. His sister was called Mary. They walked around looking for fallen coconuts, but they couldn't find any because the enormous crocodile had gathered them all up. "Oh, look!" cried Toto. "The tree over there is much smaller than the others, and it's full of coconuts. I think I could climb that one quite easily if you help me up the first bit." Toto and Mary ran towards what they thought was a small coconut tree. The enormous crocodile peered through the branches, watching them as they came closer and closer. He licked his lips. He began to dribble with excitement. Suddenly, there was a tremendous whooshing noise. It was Humpy Rumpy the hippopotamus. He came crashing and snorting out of the jungle. His head was down low, and he was galloping at a terrific speed.
"Look out, Toto!" shouted Humpy Rumpy. "Look out, Mary! That's not a coconut tree. It's the enormous crocodile, and he wants to eat you up."
Humpy Rumpy charged straight at the enormous crocodile. He caught him with his giant head and sent him tumbling and skidding over the ground.
"Ow! Woo!"
cried the enormous crocodile.
"Help! Stop! Where am I?"
Toto and Mary ran back to the town as fast as they could. Oh my goodness, this is just too exciting. Oh my goodness, have you seen this? Look at all the children here. And what do you think the enormous crocodile has made himself into? Can you see that? I can see swings here. Don't know what this is. Maybe these are some logs to jump on. There's a massive log here. What do we call one of these in the playground? But crocodiles are tough. It is difficult for even a hippopotamus to hurt them. The enormous crocodile picked himself up and crept towards the place where the children's playground was.
Now for clever trick number 2,
he said to himself.
This one is certain to work.
There were no children in the playground at that moment. They were all in school. The enormous crocodile found a large piece of wood and placed it in the middle of the playground. Then he lay across the piece of wood and tucked in his feet so that he looked almost exactly like a seesaw. Is that what you thought he was? When school was over, the children all came running onto the playground. "Oh, look!" they cried. "We've got a new seesaw!" They all crowded round, shouting with excitement.
"Perhaps I go first." "I'll get on the other end."
"I want to go."
"So do I, so do I."
Then a girl who was older than the others said, "It's rather a funny, knobbly sort of seesaw, isn't it? Do you think it'll be safe to sit on?"
"Of course it will,"
the others said.
"It looks strong as anything."
The enormous crocodile opened one eye just a tiny bit and watched the children who were crowding around him. "Soon," he thought, "one of them is going to sit on my head.
Then I will give a jerk and a snap, and after that it will be yum, yum, yum."
What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that he's finally going to be able to eat some children, or do you think that they are going to be able to escape from him? Should we have a look? Who's this? Oh my goodness. At that moment there was a flash of brown and something jumped into the playground and hopped up onto the top of the swings. It was Mugglewump the monkey.
"Run!"
Mugglewump shouted to the children.
"All of you, run, run, run! That's not a seesaw, it's the enormous crocodile, and he wants to eat you up."
The children screamed and ran for their lives. Mugglewump disappeared back into the jungle, and the enormous crocodile was left all alone in the playground. Can you see him? I don't think he looks very pleased. I think he's a bit annoyed that people are coming to warn people about him. Silly crocodile. I think they're annoyed with him and that they don't think that what he's doing is right. And you see all these children running away. Finally. Glad someone's got the little girl. Do you think that he's going to have another plan? I think he might do. Wow. He cursed the monkey and waddled back into the bushes to hide.
"I'm getting hungrier and hungrier," he said. "I shall have to eat at least 4 children now before I'm full up."
The enormous crocodile crept around the edge of the town, taking great care not to be seen. He came to a place where they were getting ready to have a fair. There were slides and swings and dodgem cars, and people selling popcorn and candy floss. There was also a big roundabout. The roundabout had marvellous wooden creatures for the children to ride on. There were white horses and lions and tigers and mermaids with fishes' tails and fearsome dragons with red tongues sticking out of their mouths.
"Now for clever trick number 3,
said the enormous crocodile, licking his lips. When no one was looking, he crept up on the roundabout and put himself between a wooden lion and a fearsome dragon. He sat up a bit on his back legs and he kept very still. He looked exactly like a wooden crocodile on the roundabout. Soon all sorts of children came flocking into the fair. Several of them ran towards the roundabout. They were very excited. "I'm going to ride on a dragon," cried one. "I'm going on a lovely white horse," cried another. "I'm going on a lion," cried the third one. And one little girl, whose name was Jill, said, "I'm going to ride on that funny old wooden crocodile." The enormous crocodile kept very still, but he could see the little girl coming towards him.
"Yummy, yum, yum," he thought. "I'll go perhaps her up easily in one gulp.
Uh-oh. Look out, Jill. Do you think that Jill's going to get eaten? Or do you think that someone's going to come along and help? Ooh, look! Who's here? Brilliant. Suddenly there was a swish and a swoosh, and something came swishing and swooshing out of the sky. It was the roly-poly bird. He flew round and round and the roundabout, singing, "Look out, Jill! Look out, look out! Don't ride on that crocodile." Jill stopped and looked up. "That's not a wooden crocodile," sang the roly-poly bird. "It's a real one. It's the enormous crocodile from the river, and he wants to eat you up." Jill turned and ran. So did all the other children. Even the man who was working the roundabout jumped off it and ran away as fast as he could. The enormous crocodile cursed the roly-poly bird and waddled back into the bushes to hide.
"I'm so hungry now," he said to himself. "I could eat 6 children before I'm full up."
Uh-oh. Just outside the town there was a pretty little field with trees and bushes all around it. This was called the picnic place. There were several wooden tables and long benches, and people were allowed to go there and have a picnic at any time. The enormous crocodile crept over to the picnic place. There was no one in sight.
"Now for clever trick number 4,
he whispered to himself. He picked a lovely bunch of flowers and arranged it on one of the tables. From the same table he took away one of the benches and hid it in the bushes. Have you seen what he's done here? Cheeky thing. Then he put himself in the place where the bench had been. By tucking his head under his chest and by twisting his tail out of sight, he made himself look very much like a long wooden bench with 4 legs. Soon 2 boys and 2 girls came along carrying baskets of food. They were all from one family, and their mother had said they could go out and have a picnic together.
"Which table shall we sit at?"
said one. "Let's take the table with the lovely flowers on it," said another. The enormous crocodile kept as quiet as a mouse.
"I shall eat them all,"
he said to himself.
"They will come and sit on my back, and I will swivel my head round quickly, and after that it will be squish, crunch, glop."
Oh my goodness, did you see that? Oh, I think I know who's going to come next. Suddenly, a big, deep voice from the jungle shouted,
"Stand back, children! Stand back! Stand back!"
The children stopped and stared at the place where the voice was coming from. Then, with a crashing of branches, Chunky the elephant came rushing out of the jungle.
"That's not a bench you are sitting on!" he bellowed. "It's the enormous crocodile we're going to sit on!" he bellowed. "It's the enormous crocodile, and he wants to eat you all up!"
Chunky trotted over to the spot where the enormous crocodile was standing, and quick as a flash, he wrapped his trunk around the crocodile's tail and hoisted him up into the air.
"Hey, let me go!"
yelled the enormous crocodile, who was now dangling upside down.
"Let me go! Let me go!"
"No," Chunky said, "I will not let you go. We've all had quite enough of your clever tricks."
Whoa. Chunky began to swing the crocodile round and round in the air. At first he swung him slowly. Then he swung him faster and faster and faster and faster still. Soon the enormous crocodile was just a blurry circle going round and round Chunky's head. I wonder what's going to happen next. Suddenly, Chunky let go of the crocodile's tail, and the crocodile went shooting high up into the sky like a huge green rocket. Up and up he went, higher and higher, faster and faster. He was going so fast and so high that soon the earth was just a tiny dot miles below. He whizzed on and on. He whizzed far into space. He whizzed past the moon. He whizzed past stars and planets until at last, with the most tremendous bang, the enormous crocodile crashed headfirst into the hot, hot sun, and he was sizzled up like a sausage. Wow! Were you expecting that to be the last thing that happened in the book? Because I certainly wasn't. But he was sizzled up like a sausage. No more enormous crocodile. Bye-bye. Well done, everybody, for listening. Bye.